Yo, what's going on, everybody? We are live, WrestlePurists Worldwide, episode 45, hosted by myself, Manny the Hooper, Ibo of WrestlePurists, better known as Backup Hangman. We got no Joe Hulbert today, as he's in Chicago for the crazy weekend that has just gone past, and we've got a lot to talk about. AEW All Out, WWE Payback, the latest on CM Punk's firing and the fallout, and whatever else comes up. First things first, please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, send any super chats with any questions. Always appreciated. And hope everyone's doing good. Starting with my fellow co-hosts, Manny the Hooper and Ibu. Manny, nice mask.
Thank you.
What's going on with you?
Nothing much. Just watch some wrestling and just ready to hang out with you guys. I don't know.
It's been a dramatic week, man, and you seem, so
Tired.
that's what the light is. You're tired of this shit,
Just now, the last thing for my fandom to end is just waiting for CM Punk shoot interview. Then I might, depending on how it goes, I might be all back in, right? This might CM Punk might just kick my last leg into the grave.
Oh man, it's a tough weekend for the Hooper, We're gonna get into all of it though. We're gonna get into all of it. Ibu, good show last night. How are you doing?
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, I watched most of All Out last night. I did not get to see Miro Hobbs in full. I only saw the opening minutes. I just watched it right now, and I've been flexing so hard. I might look like Will Hobbs right now. I don't know. But
Doubt it. Doubt it.
Hood classic. I'm fired up, Monty. All Out was amazing. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn cemented themselves as the tag team of the year on Saturday. Cody Rhodes isn't directionless for the remainder of this year because Jey Uso's on Raw. Gunther and Chad Gable are wrestling tonight.
Yes, sir.
I'm ready, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. AEW might have gotten their balls back. We shall see. Yet to be seen. We got to see how the TV goes. But woo!
Fired up, man. It's that's not a good show, and obviously there's been a lot of drama this weekend, and we're going to get into the latest, especially if we've got the time to towards the end. But I want to talk about the graps. I want to talk about the graps first. I want to talk about All Out. I want to talk about Payback. We've got to talk about Collision because that was that was insane. But yeah, man, AEW All Out, a great show in Chicago. Really great vibes. Obviously, going into it with the firing of CM Punk, it was kind of, even myself kind of thinking, how's the crowd going to be throughout the night? Like, are they going to be weird at points, etc., etc.? And they wasn't, for 99% of it. The Bucks got booed, but other than that, Hangman, Kenny, they all got cheered, etc., pretty much as you would expect them to in most other places. And on top of that, it was really great vibes, wasn't it, Ibu?
I've seen cards of AEW that have stronger lineups on paper. Much more stronger lineups on paper. Higher marquee value. But in a weird way, even though this has been a very odd and inconsistent year for AEW, I think that they're getting better than ever at pacing their pay-per-views. Between the Wembley show and this show. Because before AEW shows would they'd do this thing where it'd be like big singles match number 2, ladder match, casino fucking ring ladder match, then it'd be like some false count anywhere tornado tag, and then you're like middle of the show, you're pooped, you're tired, you're ready to tap out, you don't have the right energy for the main events. But now this show it felt like a really good collision at the beginning, and then you kind of slowly escalated, gradually into the big bangers in the main event. So yeah, this show did have the right energy. There was like dynamism to the night. Everybody was, you were watching a motivated locker room yesterday. I think everybody they all had their working boots on, and the roster is great to where they're always like really good. But yesterday it was just like it felt like everybody was trying to have the best match of their careers, in succession, and everybody's motivated, and it's almost like they had a chip on their shoulder because of the controversies that they've been dealing with, plus the people who have kind of doubted, I guess, how good the show was going to be. I don't know. Was Paul Heyman and Gorilla? Was 97 Paul Heyman backstage fucking riling them up? Yeah, right vibes for sure. It felt like a company that had its identity again, so to speak.
Yeah, that's been kind of a take I've seen quite a few times throughout today, and especially last night when the show finished. Like that felt the most AEW. AEW was felt in a minute, which is hilarious given the context that CM Punk was for the day before, and seemed to have woken up of a lot of the performers, and like you said, a lot of the performers seemed to have a chip on the shoulder, and they were ready to go out there and just kill it, especially following the huge pay-per-view that they've done with Wembley Stadium all in, and I guess there was definitely an element of trying to top that, so. Yeah, man, great show, and we are going to get into it. This 0 Hour Battle Royal. I didn't manage to actually catch 0 Hour, so I do know that Hangman Adam Page won the charity Battle Royal. Did anyone catch this? Anyone in the chat? What else did we have on 0 Hour? There was the women's tag match. What else did we have? What are you going to say, Bill?
I was just going to say, I didn't catch it, but I can tell everybody that Hangman's next planned storyline finally begins this week on Dynamite. It will actually be a story that they've had in the works that will finally commence this week. So you can look forward to that.
A real storyline that'll have some focus and
yes,
angles you would expect and hope, and let's tell some stories with Hangman, because it's kind of crazy how he kind of just faded into the background of things, like involved but not really focused on. And although we did win the Battle Royal yesterday, it was kind of striking to see him in that position, But yeah, let's get him heated up properly again. And the AEW audience loves Hangman, so you gotta do some stuff with him, But yeah, Manny, I know you didn't catch all of the show, but from what you have saw, you got any brief thoughts before we get into the main card?
No, not really. I'm just to see what Hangman does, I guess. Was it for the World Title or no?
It's for it was for a charity donation of $50,000, I believe. Hangman, I've got it noted down somewhere.
I just saw it. It was Texas Public School for Chicago.
Chicago Public Education Fund. So they received $50,000.
I got something funny for you.
Thanks to Hangman.
My brother was watching parts of the middle of the show with me, and my brother's background as a Laps fan, right? But they played the highlights of the Battle Royal. My brother's watching this, and they're talking about it's for charity. And he looks like incredulous. He's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "What's wrong? It's a charity match." He's like, "Are there heels in this match?" I said, "Yes." And then he sees Brian Cage getting knocked off. He's like, "Cage is a heel, right?" I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Why would he fight for charity?" And I started howling and laughing. I said, "They can still be humane people." He's like, "Why would a heel fight for charity?"
When I heard there was a charity, because I forgot what match it was when Nigel announced who Hangman won the charity, and I said, why are they doing like a charity for like a Battle Royal? Like, it's cool and everything, but I was like, isn't this like pre-planned? This isn't a shoot or whatever. So it's just like they just chose somebody to, I don't know. In my head, I was just like, wait, this isn't a shoot Battle Royal. What if somebody wanted to choose something else for like a charity or whatever? I don't know. In my head, I was just like running circles in my mind.
I don't think this is a real problem. It was just a funny observation he made, But yeah.
Yeah, I know. But for me, it put my head in a knot for a few minutes.
Maybe I think it might be the tight ass ski mask you're wearing that kind
of. No, I put it on. I put the ski mask on like before I got on the show.
Why do you have? Why is your potential final appearance here on Worldwide, your potential swan song, and you're not showing the world your beautiful face, man. What's going on here? Or are you gonna end the show taking it off like a luchador does when they retire? Like Villano Cuatro or something.
I didn't think about that, but maybe because I was gonna put on the other black one that I have, but maybe I'll do that.
We got to scream forever repeatedly as we go off the air.
We'll see what happens. We're keeping our fingers crossed here at WrestlePurists to make sure Manny's next work schedule lines up with WrestlePurists worldwide.
Right.
That's the current situation going on there. But okay, main card AEW All Out from Chicago. It kicks off with MJF and Adam Cole versus the Dark Order for the ROH Tag Team titles. And they did the whole thing where MJF goes into the match, his neck's hurting, it's aching, he's banged up, and it results in him having to go into the back midway through the match and leave Adam Cole out there, basically wrestling in a handicap match. And this builds up to MJF doing the baby face spot, storming out from the back, even though they're hurt, like a warrior, huge pop from the crowd. And they successfully retain the ROH Tag Team titles. There is, of course, the heated angle after this. We'll get into it after. But Ibu, what did you think of the match itself? Did you manage to catch any of it?
Yeah, I caught the whole thing. It's just the superheated simple tags that Max and Cole have been doing. Where it's very much super minimalist, almost house show style in nature, and it's so over. And they love all the shtick, the kangaroo kick, the double clothesline. Their opponents are really just the backdrop for their next story beat. And in this case, it's the continued reinforcement that MJF's neck is a problem. And that's going to definitely show itself in some respect. This is obviously going to be followed up on either with maybe an Adam Cole turn where he targets it and it really kind of resonates with you because that his neck has been bad. Or maybe it's something that Samoa Joe or Roderick Strong exploit in a match. But nonetheless, the real priority of this match is to kind of hammer home to you that like his neck is a problem, and also kind of really further his babyface transition with the big run out. And so the crowd is super into it, really heated. Fun little kind of house show style opener. Dark Order were on the opposite ends, and it appears that they're trying to turn heel. So God bless, good for them. And that's kind of all I have to say about the opener.
Yeah, it's just kind of what you would have expected and hoped for, I guess. With this kind of thing. Dave Meltzer was absolutely perplexed on how this made the pay-per-view show. The Dark Order in the same ring as world champion. Manny's scoffed and pulled a few faces at the idea of it as well. But
Yeah,
I guess, come on, Manny.
I didn't watch it because I saw the clips of MJF walking out of the back tunnel. I said, bro, I don't want to watch that shit, bro. Because I feel like I've seen that all the time on a lot of AEW's big pay-per-views. Like, I feel like
they're doing it a lot.
Yeah, I feel like it happens all the time. I said, bro, I don't care, bro. Like, I just want to see MJF and Cole do some meaningful stuff. So, it's kind of funny because the other guys that did it were Cody and Dax, right? Cody did it during I forgot what match Cody did, but I know Dax did it at Forbidden Door at a no happening Forbidden Door match where he went to the back and then came back and like he got a mild reaction. So I'm pretty sure MJF got a big one.
Yeah, it was. The crowd are super into him at the moment, and they're remaining into him, and that's of course a very big thing with keeping his story going as long as. I assume they hope to go with it because it seems like they've really got some long-term stuff going with this one. So we'll see what happens. A good opener. And of course, this is followed by Samoa Joe making his entrance for his match with Shane Taylor. And he crosses paths with MJF on the ramp. And he shoves him, which is, I guess you could call it a callback to a time in NXT many moons ago. Samoa Joe was top of the world, he was world champion down in NXT. He's making his entrance from the back. They're doing the big title, walking from the back, seeing them do the entrance with the security guards around them. MJF just happened, a young, baby-faced MJF is the security guard for Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe shoves him out the way. And he done the same here last night in Chicago. MJF stops on the ramp. Cole tries to talk him out of doing anything about it. But, of course, of course, MJF can't help himself and he runs down to the ring and he gets into this super heated brawl with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe locks on a guillotine. All the security guards come down to the ring. They get split up. Samoa Joe sits on Samoa Joe sitting on the posters.
Wait, what?
His mannerisms and shit are just I just love Samoa Joe, bro. Anytime he gets into a brawl or anything like that, is what's up, man?
I know that happened. I didn't, when I skipped through the show, I just saw I just saw Samoa Joe in the ring with Shane Taylor. Maybe I'll go back and rewatch that part.
Yeah, you need to see this angle, super heated angle, of course, with the world champion. Samoa Joe. It looks like, MJF's got a lot of stuff going on. He's got a lot on his plate at the moment. He's got this Adam Cole stuff. He's got this friendship that I'm sure he's hoping can remain a friendship. And of course, he's got the Roderick Strong and the Kingdom. They're kind of in the background of this. And now he's got Samoa Joe. He's got Samoa Joe, the big man, to deal with. Iba, this was a very heated angle, wasn't it?
No, it absolutely ruled. And I got to give it to MJF, man. His plotting when it comes to stringing along week to week television is it's better than most. Because who is the person, Monty, that put Roderick Strong in the position that he's in today? It's Samoa Joe. And so now we have a situation where when Roddy cut his promo last week, it was like, okay, he's obviously winning the tournament. But now it's like maybe it's Joe with the angle they shot. But what I do know is they are now in a trajectory where they're in the same orbit again and their paths can cross again. So we're going to see Roddy and Joe again, which is awesome because their first match is great. And there is a seed of doubt as to who's winning this tournament. So, yeah, I thought it was a great angle. And it's one of those angles that, like, was well executed, super heated. There's it felt like there's a sense of jeopardy and urgency to it rather than, like, just kind of the phoned-in punches people do sometimes in these things. And it makes you think. It makes you think and speculate as to the direction that they could take. And they laid it out and plotted it so that it's not super obvious which one it is. So well done. Really good piece of business from this.
Yeah, man. I'm fired up to see where to go with it. And next thing on the pay-per-view, of course, was Samoa Joe's match with Shane Taylor for the ROH TV title. And I felt like, the crowd was fired up just from the angle that they just saw and the brawl and everything with MJF. And this was short and sweet, two big men clobbering each other, throwing punches and shit. And, kind of in and out of there. I thought this was a nice little bit of business, Of course, on paper, seeing Samoa Joe versus Shane Taylor on AEW All Out 2023 was quite striking, but, it didn't overstay its welcome. And I wasn't mad at it, Bill.
It was two fat niggas punching each other, around the ring and in the ring. And, hey, man, that's Memphis. That's all Japan, baby. You know what I mean? That's how we get down. You know what I mean? I actually had a pretty decent time with this. This felt like a middle of Collision match that would have been booked during the the heyday of Collision in the old days of Collision. Only real problem with this is that Shane Taylor's not an established talent on AEW programming, so that's why people were like just miffed and confused at his inclusion in the card. I don't hate Shane Taylor as a wrestler. I think he's pretty solid. But again, just because he was unestablished, it was like, what? It was just like so random. But ultimately, it's just Joe and Taylor punching each other. Not a match that's going to resonate with, I think, a lot of the core AEW fan base. But for freaks like myself and you, it's right up our alley.
Good time, man. I had a good time. A little 6 minutes,
6 minutes.
And that's all that match should have been,
Yes.
5-6 minutes. Samoa Joe beats someone,
If they tried to do like 15 minutes in epic back and forth, I would have turned on this,
I'm gonna get into some super chats real quick. Dunmaz at $5. Appreciate you as always. Never watching AEW again. Not because Punk got fired, rest in peace, but because Jack Perry is indefinitely suspended. He is. That was confirmed at the media scrum last night after the pay-per-view. Darren Walker, £5. Appreciate it. Danielson versus Starks and feud of Joe versus MJF. My highlights of all out. Dragon's a Collision guy. Hope he stays a singles. Keep rest of Blackpool Combat Club on Dynamite. It's obviously it was interesting when Danielson came back, of course, as a clear babyface. Blackpool Combat Club have been doing what they've been doing, but for the main event, Danielson did walk out with the Blackpool Combat Club. So, I guess we'll see what happens there. Maybe it's just a thing where Danielson is still in the Blackpool Combat Club as it appears, and they're just on different shows most of the time. Probably
Looking
will
forward
be
to
the way to go with it.
looking forward to the Danielson era of Collision. He was always planned to be a Collision guy, always, even back when Punk was still on the show. And it makes more practical sense for his life and what he's planning to do with his schedule going forward. And so he was basically slated, Monty, to be like if there was a ratio, like a 65-35 Collision over Dynamite type of guy, essentially. So looking forward to seeing how this turns out. I'd imagine he's going to assume a lot of Punk's creative responsibilities, and I think it's going to result in some really fun TV. So, thank you, Danielson, for forcing me back into the weekly wrestling TV orbit that I've been trying to abandon. So there you go.
Globe Wrestling 499, appreciate you. January 26th, 2014, I left Sports Entertainment. November 25th, 2023, I'm back. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I don't quite think that'll be the angle he goes with it though. If he does return there.
What is he gonna say? I feel like the only thing he could say that would like be credible and respectable is literally just, "I want to fight Roman Reigns."
He shits on AEW, and then he says, "I want Roman Reigns.
No,
I want the top prize."
He has to literally be like, "Why am I here?"
Yeah, his music just has to hit.
Hit the music. Why am I here? Roman Reigns. Boom. That's it. That's literally it. Paul Heyman comes out. They do some Paul Heyman Punk interaction. Well. If it isn't Chicago's son, CM Punk, and they do their back and forth. So.
Will Chisholm, $5. Please tell me that Punk story was true about the Rumble because this shit was crazy. Of course, the report of apparently in December of 2022, CM Punk was very open to the idea of going to WWE, and one of the rumored ideas that Punk had that was making its way around the WWE locker room was that to come back at the Rumble and get eliminated by Kevin Owens and face him at Mania. But of course that didn't happen because he returned in AEW, and we've all seen how that ended up going. So we'll see if he is open to going there again in the future, of course. But yeah, it'd be a pretty crazy story for that to come out now.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, but Monty, I don't know if you remember, I reported on WrestlePurists Worldwide back in December. Not about a Kevin Owens.
Reported.
I did,
loosely.
I just told niggas. What I said to niggas was there's a genuine chance that Stone Cold versus CM Punk happens at WrestleMania. That was actually something, Monty, that was discussed. Now, I don't know about it within the company, but I mean like literally between like Punk was certainly like, if it happens, I'm here type of thing, and Steve Austin was certainly doing the whole just in case workouts, you know what I mean? And once it became apparent that Punk wouldn't get his release or buyout, that kind of died down. It became apparent, Monty, roughly closing in on Revolution, that Punk won't be bought out, and that's when we started to transition into, okay, if we're not going to do a buyout, let's start working towards a return. But yeah, Punk wanted to work Kevin Steen apparently, according to Fightful, and that would have been fun.
I might have gone to the Rumble if I knew that.
Might
have gone to the Rumble last year if I knew that Punk might have been there.
Oh, of course, yeah. It was in Texas, wasn't it?
Yeah, San Antonio, 15 minutes from me.
Beautiful. We need Manny at the Rumble. Could you imagine? We'd have to try to get Manny media credentials for a WWE media scrum.
Monty,
why would you ask Triple H, Manny?
I don't know if I would want to talk to Triple H. Maybe Heyman.
Okay, what would you ask Heyman?
I don't know. I gotta think, because there's like a lot of things I would want to talk to him about.
Bringing up like peak
ECW
peak
stuff. And
ECW.
I
I
oh
would ask him
man,
if he would have taken it, if he ever taken a move before.
he has.
Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
I don't know.
he's
I'm
been
trying
put through. He's been hit with finishers, put through tables. Yeah.
I'm trying to. Now I got put on the spot. Well,
You got to ask him about like the depth of his lucha knowledge since he was a tape trader. He was a big AAA guy, man. You know, Monty. I have some news for the people. So, Chad Gable's family is in attendance for this Raw, and I can confirm that Gable versus Gunther will be main eventing Raw tonight.
Of course it will. Of course it will. It's nice to have it confirmed, you know.
Well, so what happened was it was that was the plan a week ago, Monty, and then I have a slight report here. I'll just do it here. Monty, you know how Cody on TV said I cashed in all the political chips that I have during the. So I found out that was a shoot. Basically, Monty, he went to management and he was looking at the rest of his year and he just essentially said, "You know, I don't ever do this. You know, I just kind of go with what you guys asked me to do. I need you to do something for me. I would like if you move Jey Uso to Raw and we begin this Roman thing, at least on a subtle level now, like beginning the build to the rematch." And because he's such a company man and he's Cody and he has stroke and he's a beast, they just got it done. And Jey Uso's return was sped up by numerous weeks. That was the phrasing I got, was numerous weeks. So
looking forward to it, you know. That's two of my guys, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, you know, fired up. Good to see him come back at Payback. You know, we're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into all of it. But yeah, man, it's good to know that Cody's going to be doing something. You know, he was kind of just floating around the rest of the baby faces at the top of the garden, just kind of, you know, being Cody sort of thing. He wasn't really feuding with anyone, so
no.
This could get interesting. Of course, Jey Uso is currently a babyface as well, so you know, let's see how it all plays out.
That man said, "Yeah, let's get this going now." This is what a guy.
All right, AEW All Out, back to it. Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin. Darby Allin has yet another good match with a big man. You know, he gets cut open. There's violence. It's a monster heel destroying a baby face who can sell properly, who can do great comebacks, etc., etc. But he couldn't get the job done, unfortunately. Darby couldn't. Luchasaurus hits the double tombstone, you know, and then he throws him. Shout out, Manny, with the WrestlePurists hoodie. It's beautiful. Change of mask as well. Well, it's not a change. I believe you just reversed it, haven't you?
no, I just changed the mask. There's two separate masks.
Oh, oh shit! Why is it? You look great. You know, you look great.
It's actually really cold in my house right now.
I'm very unsettled.
Feel like you're about to get robbed. Oh, where was I? Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin. Blood, violence, comebacks, real selling. You know, this was a good time, man. This was a good time. Good TNT title match. But like I said, Luchasaurus gets it done. You know, Christian Cage, he was on the outside. You know, he was getting involved with Nick Wayne, who was on the outside for Darby, etc., etc. But yeah, man, Darby couldn't get it done here, Bill.
Very shocking. I just assumed he's gonna go over here and then go back to fighting with Swerve over the TNT belt. And so I'm genuinely shocked that they're keeping the Luchasaurus thing going. So yeah, very, very surprising finish. Darby doesn't have bad matches, so of course, this was good. I seen him have a good match with Cesar Bononi, and Cesar Bononi is not a good wrestler. Luchasaurus is someone that I'm up and down with, but funnily enough, Monty, even though I'm not a big Luchasaurus fan, his singles pay-per-view matches, even though it's only 2, I mean, you got the Jack Perry steel cage match and then this. I mean, hey, that's not a bad start to a resume. So Yeah, this was a good match. Darby Allin bled. He's the most consistent wrestler in the company. Well, actually, I mean, there's some people who would challenge that, but he's a beast, and this was good.
Yeah, it was a good time. Manny, was you surprised to see that Darby Allin didn't win the TNT title last night?
Yeah, it was actually pretty shocking. I thought this plan. I thought Luchasaurus was gonna lose a Derby, and same thing. He was gonna wrestle Swerve for it eventually, but I don't know. That's crazy. I wonder what they're gonna do with it, and I wonder what Christian's gonna do with it. He's the world's TV TNT champ. He said something like that, right? He's the world's TNT champ.
He said by the time he's done with it, because he bought the TNT title to the press media scrum.
Yeah,
And he said by the time he's done with the title, it'll be the World TNT Championship. He was just popping himself up there last night.
Because I didn't see the match. I just laughed because I saw the angle. I managed to see the angle, and I just saw all all the losers just come out and try to save Darby and all that. Like Sean Spears front and center, making sure that the atmosphere running off Christian Cage, and I said, "Fucking rocks, bro." I don't know that something about it was funny.
Yeah, man. Well, after the match, Christian is about to hit the concerto on Darby in front of Nick Wayne, who he's forcing to watch. And then, the boys, the boys come out from the back. Sean Spears, the infantry, just random guys from the back.
I saw Sean Spears. I said, "What the hell is he doing? I haven't seen him in a long time, and he's in gear." I was like, "What the fuck?" It blew me away. I was shocked. Like, this is the fuck.
But yeah, for whatever it's worth as well, it was announced at the media scrum by Christian himself that he's signed a new fat contract with AEW, so he's going to be sticking around, of course, with Edge, much like Christian. With Christian, much like Edge. It's there's always going to be speculation until they end up in the same company together, So
did you see somebody else at the scrum? They said something about Adam Copeland. He says, "I don't talk about that. I just like he just
he's like, I only talk about my friends, me and Luchasaurus." He was just popping himself up there, man. But yeah, like you said, man, it was quite funny seeing just random people from the back just come out, But I liked it because that is what you'd expect to happen at a show, Like
Chuck and Trey,
anyone who's there, yeah.
Chuck and Trey won one of the biggest matches at 1 million over here with the Jobber Squad. Try to save Darby from Christian.
Yeah, man. It was a good time. It was a good time. Of course, a lot of people surprised Luchasaurus walked away with the belt, but it is basically Christian Cage's belt as well. So I guess we'll see what them two have planned for the belt and what's next for them, and of course what's next for Darbs. So
it'd be funny if him and Edge, if Edge comes in, they just like pretend they're both like the TNT champs and all that, and then just work out defending.
Christian Cage, man. You don't have to put the working boots on too often. He's got his heater. He knows what he's doing. He's playing the game, And he's earned the right to, he goes out there, he cuts a promo, goes viral for a few weeks,
As a killer match for 2 months with like someone like Darby Allin.
Yeah, man. The way it should be done, Okay. Miro versus Hobbs. This was quite the experience. You've just watched Izuba talk about it.
Let me talk to you. Yo. Oh my God. Where do I begin? Like, these are two very large men. And the best, what the actual best kind of big man is, Monty? It's not like the cute trend we were getting in 2017 where everybody was like, "Oh, I'm a big man that could do like lucha moves and I can like move around and like do drop downs and duck unders and leapfrogs." Like the only guy who was doing that in PWG in 2017 that was cool was Keith Lee. But that trend of like, I'm a flippy, agile big man, it was just lame. It's like NBA center shooting 3-pointers. I don't want you shooting threes. Get in the fucking post. Back to the basket. Post up. Give me a jump hook. You know what I mean? Give me a lob. Block some shots. I want you to be big. If you're a big monster, be a big monster. I don't want you to work clean. Now, I don't want you to be completely uncoordinated either. Know what you're doing, work to your size and stuff, right? But my point is, be your size, be big, be menacing, be powerful. I get what some of these dudes are trying to do. I already get from Matt Seidel and Ricochet. I don't need you to do that. Maybe sometimes for the novelty, but be big, be a monster. Gato told Lance Archer when he first came in, more monster. And so that's what I need. And so Miro and Will Hobbs, they get it. Braun Strowman gets it. Otis gets it. This is big man wrestling, Monty, and it's back. I declared it last year. It's back. They started lariating each other in the chest, right? And they're doing their match and all this other stuff. It starts out kind of fine, borderline TV adjacent, but the fans just get into it because you know what? The spectacle of seeing these large, steroided men staring at each other, just doing shit to each other. It's like a monster movie. It's a car crash. They start
those meat chants were fucking crazy. They were insane, bro.
Let's go meat, and we want meat, and meat forever, and like they're chanting meat when they collide and shit. Total meme shit, right? But you know what? Miro and Will Hobbs, they recognize where this is going with the crowd, and they said, you know what? Fuck whatever we planned. Fuck whatever we called in the back. Let's work to the audience. And Monty, there's no realer music than that. Then drop in your match.
Good. You could tell.
Yes, he gets it. He's a performer, Monty. This is an art form, And they start taking him in a certain direction. And he says, listen, man, we're gonna ride the wave, brother. We're gonna ride the wave. And that's what they did. They gave them the match they wanted. The fans said, okay, this is cool. We want Ishii versus Hiroki Goto. And they said, okay, sure. And they start running into each other and chest bumping and lariating and stuff and trading lariats. And then you get the Oklahoma Stampede and the Power Slam and the Spine Busters. But, oh my God, that superplex that they built to, amazing. Amazing. Will Hobbs hits his Spine Buster. And by the time he hit it, it felt like the planet was shaking. Like the ground was dented. He hits it. Boom! I'm like, oh, that's it. That's it. He got him. Miro kicks out. I'm like, oh my God. This is like, holy shit. They earned the shocked faces and the wrestling trope of like, oh, kick out. It's like, oh, this is the time where we act shocked and pause for the fight forever chance. But here, it felt like it because these two mammoths, these two giant men have been wearing each other out. It's been a war of attrition. When they collide with their blows, it literally feels like you're taking out half of a life bar in a fighting game,
Miro's punches, man.
Yeah.
He can throw real punches, bro.
Yeah. That's real music, Monty.
I really love when they were just running into each other. And the crowd was just going, meat.
Yes. That's what you need, Monty.
Meat. And you can tell that they were only meant to do that like once or twice. But they could hit. But no. Miro caught on to the crowd. He's like, yes, keeping this going, brother. And they've done it like 6 times.
The fans that keep going, and they kept going. That's
and then he hit the Sheamus hammers, and then everybody's just yelling out meat. And then JR says, "I wish there was closed captioning so everybody could read what they're saying and all that." You're like, I don't know. It was
this
awesome.
match was beautiful. It was poetic. It was emblematic of just the wrestling that I enjoy and I love, and why we do this art form, right? Doing it this way. And then the other thing about it, guys, that made it nice to me was CM Punk has left AEW. Or not left, he got fired. But he's gone. He's gone, right? And for all of the polarizingness about CM Punk and for all the controversies and stuff like that, I think that he's undeniably helped a couple people on AEW Collision. And Collision will not be the same, for better and for worse, going forward. They're going to end the roster split. They're going to be making some changes. There's going to be an influx of guys who have not been on these tapings. So it's a new era. And I thought that at its absolute best, I really liked what Collision became in those first 8 weeks. It fizzled out, but I liked the show that it was turning into, that it was materializing into. And I thought Will Hobbs versus Miro, two of the projects, the reclamation projects of this initiative, I thought they had the series finale of the old Collision. And so it was a nice send off. In a weird, sick way, this was goodbye to the old Collision. And I thought they sent it off with a beautiful match between two Haas's. And now my feeling is, Monty, these two men, these two gladiators, there's nothing more manly than beating the shit out of another man and earning his respect at the end of it and becoming an ally. It's a tale as old as time. And so I want these guys to tag. And Tony Khan, if you're listening, if this makes its way to you, Tony Khan, if this makes its way to you, Sanjay Dutt, Will Washington, QT Marshall, Bryan Danielson, I want you to know that I, Backup Hangman, would love to see these two guys tagging against other big men. I need you to make Haas tag teams that they can destroy. Next week, I want them to kill the Iron Savages in 1 minute.
Can't do it next week.
Yeah, right.
Can't do it next week because after the match they shook hands, and the world was better for it. But of course, Hobbs attacked Miro when his back was turned. But who saves him? None other than his wife, CJ Perry, the former Lana in WWE. She comes down, distracts Hobbs. Hobbs drops the chair. Miro grabs the chair, takes out Hobbs, and then Miro and CJ Perry to come face to face, and everyone's expecting them to embrace each other, a hug, a kiss, whatever it is, The crowd starts chanting. What did the crowd start chanting? Piece of meat. So, crowd's chanting piece of meat. But Miro, he weirdly just gets out the ring. He just gets out the ring and he walks off with a troubled look on his face, and he gets to the top of the ramp and he just starts screaming, "You're not real. You're not real."
Listen, man, the man Miro was before he became God's son was a broken man who witnessed his wife, engaging with a large black man. This situation
Bob
was all
Lash. Big money Bob Lash.
this situation was all too familiar for our Miro. He just went to war with Will Hobbs. Lana's in there again, and he said, "Oh no, not again."
Then he yelled, "You're not real.
You're not real."
Oh man, this is great piece of business, But yeah, we're on a roll. We're on a roll. AEW all out here. And next up we had Ruby Soho challenging for the TBS Championship versus Chris Statlander. But Tony Storm happens to be the one that cost Ruby Soho the title. Where do you think this one's going, Ivo?
An elongated Outcast breakup angle. I don't know, Tony
the
Storm
Outcast triple threat.
The Outcast triple threat. They actually might do that. I could actually see them doing that at the Inoki show.
Oh.
I'll leave that.
That's what Inoki would like.
Saraya versus Tony Storm versus Ruby Soho. I thought the match was okay, and I don't know. They're probably gonna do an Outcast triple threat. Tony Storm is doing really nice with this new gimmick, just being this delirious, delusional, 50s inspired, Marilyn Monroe inspired woman. She's doing a fun job with it. I've been popping at the backstage interviews, so I expect more of the same there. And she's going to be this kind of nut job, wild card. Is she with us? Is she not? Type of character, I think, with the group. And who's this? What is this reminding me of? There was a wrestling gimmick like this where somebody was in a tag team with someone else, but they kept turning on them in matches and after and before matches, and it was oh my god, this person's crazy. Is he really on board? I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Sabu with RVD. I can't remember what it was, but I remember seeing this before. And I can see Tony doing that too, where it's she's half in, half out, but she's crazy. You never know, and they do that thing for TV.
Ric Flair and Sting.
No. It's just this unhinged person as a part of a larger group, and you don't know whose side he's on because he helps, but he doesn't help sometimes. Maybe it was done in an NWO. I can't remember. Anyways, it's we'll see what happens.
Hopefully some more good stuff for Statlander as well coming up with the TBS title. Tony Khan did say at the media scrum that he's hoping to have Jay Cargill back soon, so it'll be interesting to see where she fits into AEW's women's division without the TBS title. Anyway, a few more super chats. Keep on coming in. Any questions, etc., etc., and we will get to them when we can. Will Chisholm, $10. Appreciate you. I got to give it to Trish and Becky. That match was great. I never thought that match had a chance to be women's match of the weekend. All Out felt like Cody Rhodes' vision pay-per-view. Yeah, man, Trish and Becky, great match, of course. We'll get into that a bit later on. And All Out felt like Cody Rhodes' vision. Yeah, man, Cody said after the CM Punk Brawl Out thing that the spirit of All In died that day, you know? And man, maybe it came back to life last night, Iba.
I did feel the spirit of All In. I did. It doesn't get more All In than Orange Cassidy, the little engine that could, the meme wrestler, the guy who was doubted, the guy who thought you thought was not a TV wrestler, credibly main eventing a pay-per-view and going toe-to-toe with Jon Moxley. That's the spirit of All In. That's what this movement was made about, you know. That's what this is all about. So that type of energy and this motivated locker room kind of going out there and they're all them busting their ass. Big rebel energy, big challenger brand energy. It's not WWE light, you know, little brother syndrome nonsense. It's the alternative company kind of, you know, balls to the wall, just kind of going out there and showing why they're unique, why they're special. And it's what made me fall in love with the promotion, and it's the energy that I hope continues to permeate in the coming weeks when they get back to TV.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. Zaid Naddy for 99, appreciate you. Galaxy shaking, meat madness taking over the world. Miro versus Hobbs was awesome. The crowd stole the show. Need that crowd for Braun versus Brock. Absolutely.
I apologize.
I will say I like high spot wrestling. Lucha stuff is cool, but nothing gets the crowd going like an awesome. It's like a heavyweight fight. You know, like when they just start hitting each other. Nothing like it. It's like the best thing in real fighting and in pro wrestling. It's just awesome.
Absolutely. Austin King call $2. Appreciate you very much. Punk versus Fury and Punk versus Omos going to be fire. Absolutely no chance of that one happening, I don't think. Either of them.
Austin Theory is an awful wrestler.
He was very funny. He was getting very spiteful during that match.
He is terrible. That dude is terrible.
Darren Walker, £5. Appreciate it. If Ibu is right about Hangman and he's being put in a story, then let's hope for Page versus Dark Order for 6 months. After all, we need Evil Uno versus Page. That seems very spiteful, Darren Walker. I feel like you're not being genuine there, mate.
Not being sincere.
We need it to happen.
Manny, look what you've done, Darren. Got Manny being spiteful on the pod, you know. Vultures and $5 appreciated. Was it nothing or something with WWE having the Great Muta back at Payback? Is Triple H trying to be slick and get some talent from Japan?
I could listen, man. Keiji Muto has Carney DNA in him, and you know Triple H is a shadow schemer. I firmly believe that when Kaito Kiyomiya was set to accompany Keiji Muto at WrestleMania weekend, they labeled it a learning excursion, Monty. I would call it I'm selling this guy to you, and if you want to hire him, feel free to do so. And
this reminds. Did you see the quote Kawada had about the Great Muta?
No, what did he say?
He was over this weekend with Eddie. He said Muta was there in All Japan 2001. He was great at spitting mist, but not money. You know, because he said he never got paid when he was in All Japan.
Oh man, that's terrible. Right. Listen, Muto, he's done this game before, Monty, and yeah, listen, you know, it's definitely more than meets the eye than just I just want to watch Shinsuke, you know.
Of course it is.
That's not how it is, man.
Mazfan 84 199. Appreciate you. Miro, one of the best big men around. Run back King versus Miro. I'd be down for it.
Wait, the matchup.
Yeah, we'll redeem these nuts. Don't you remember?
Oh, I was thinking Brody King. Yeah,
that match rolled.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I just call Eddie. You know, I don't want to. If you're gonna put King.
barking out your orders, bro. Like, chill. The WrestlePurists universe, let them do what they want. I don't know why you're attacking people, man. You know, you're very emotional today. You know.
It is what it is, you know.
Gabriel Bessa, $5. Appreciate you. It makes more sense for him to go to New Japan Strong, as that's where Mercedes went, and they seem to be good friends. Who's that about? Punk.
CM Punk, I think.
New Japan Strong, CM Punk. Could you imagine?
That is strange.
Yeah, I need to see more working out than that. You know. Pylons $2. Appreciate you. Is Christian re-signing shocking at all? I mean, not
Kind
really.
of to me. I mean,
Come on, man. Boy.
I don't know. I just thought. I don't know. I thought he was going to eventually go back to WWE, but I guess it makes sense. I mean, he would stay with AEW because I didn't see the thing, but I saw some of the clips. It just seems like him, Brian, just might be AEW lifers now or whatever. So
Yeah, Christian. He seems really comfortable. You know, he seems really comfortable over there at AEW at the moment. You know, so he can shoot pre-tapes from his house. You know, he can. What a beast. But yeah, man, shout out Christian. Matchman 84 199. Is she considered a hoss? If so, maybe the best ever. Is she one of the best in-ring guys, full stop, ever? To be honest, I mean, you look at his consistency over the years. He's you know, he's one of the most underrated guys in that department. I think because of course he's never been like a top guy or anything, but he has been one of the top. He's been like a top 10 in-ring worker for how many years? You know, so absolutely one of the best workers of all time. He's consistent. It's crazy how he can have like matches that are basically in the same vein all the time, but still keep him as exciting as he does. You know, and that's a massive credit to him and him as a worker. But shout out Ishii. I'm sure most podcasters would say something similar. You know, Aimer Reef 316 $5. Appreciate you. Remember when people thought All Out was getting hijacked by the Chicago crowd? Looks like those people were wrong all along.
no, they would have kicked you out.
Yeah, Punk songs being confiscated allegedly. You know.
We saw footage of there's no allegedly.
Well, you know.
The allegedly is the one with what is it? Somebody was saying you have to turn your shirts inside out or whatever. You had a Punk.
I think someone was joking and some
Yeah.
people were taking it serious. I think that's what that was. If people had seen Punk shirts on that to turn them inside out.
Imagine that you saw a whole bunch of people at like concessions with their CM Punk shirts like inside out. I think that'd be pretty.
Oh man, what a crazy weekend it's been. But where did we get to? You know, one last super chat before we get back into it. Keep the super chats coming. Any questions, etc., and we'll get to them. We'll choose them $10. Appreciate it. Is it a real chance that Punk could go to WWE? And if so, would it be Survivor Series or Royal Rumble? And that time Punk showed up at Raw backstage. That time hits different now.
Yeah, man.
If WWE wants CM Punk and extend an overture towards Punk and his team to get this deal going, I'm pretty confident it would happen.
Yeah, I think Triple H would be pretty open to the idea. Although I know it would be pretty easy to jump to the assumption that he wouldn't. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I think Triple H in 2023. You know, everyone's a bit older now. I think he would just think, you know, he can make it work. I reckon I think he'd at least be willing to have the conversation. You know. So I guess we will just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But back to the pay-per-view, and of course we had Bryan Danielson versus Ricky Starks in a strap match, and this was incredible. One of the best strap matches I've ever seen. Definitely, Bryan Danielson makes his entrance to Final Countdown. We've got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat on commentary. God bless, you know. And they had a bloodbath out there, you know. They had a bloodbath out there. Bryan Danielson, of course, one of the all-time greats, and Ricky Starks absolutely stepped to the level. And they had, you couldn't argue, the match of the night on a card that was filled with great matches. Manny, I believe you caught this one. Bryan Danielson versus Ricky Starks. What did you think?
Thought the match was awesome. Bryan is literally the greatest North American wrestler ever. Like everything he did, like him being away, I'm pretty sure his arm's still fucked up or something because he was supposed to be out for another month, wasn't he, or something like that?
Yes, he was asked to do this match, Manny, in the middle of the week.
Yeah, so I mean, this guy, you know, I think he said it best. Like he's never felt God in church, but felt it in a pro wrestling ring. I mean, this is the kind of sicko we're talking about and all that, and then that's not even including Steamboat and coming out there and doing his little chops to Big Bill. So I mean, this was just an awesome experience. And the funniest part of the match was when Nigel told Steamboat, and Steamboat got like befuddled about what he said. He says, "How do you feel about Bryan saying you're not a real American dragon or whatever?" And then Steamboat just like didn't know how to react to that or even how to respond to that. And he says, "You can check my birth certificate or whatever. I'm full-blood American." You know, it's like he called himself that. And what else? I'm very disappointed in Ricky Starks, man. You saw how he did the ring post spot like Nigel, and he didn't even do it. He just like
you can't do the actual Nigel spot, man.
Well, I mean, at least make it look.
We know too much about concussions and CTE now. You know.
Well, I mean, he can make it look like you're hitting it or something. He just like did like little love taps to it. And I said, "Come on, man." And then, you know, I'm very disappointed that 2 of CM Punk's last matches in wrestling involved Ricky Starks because, you know, he didn't really try in those matches in compared to what he did last night. So,
oh man, Styles make fights, brother. You know, Styles make fights. You know, and like I said, Ricky Starks was great in this, and you have been very critical of Ricky Starks, even in his best moment. You know, you managed to find something within the match. You know, you managed to find something somehow.
this is obviously his best match though in AEW, but
yeah,
it was awesome.
I think that's pretty safe to say. This was incredible. I've seen a lot of people saying it's the best strap match of all time. But yeah, man, Bryan Danielson does it again. Incredible comeback from injury, Bill.
He's the greatest wrestler I've ever seen, and he just had a one-armed match on like short notice, and it was like absolutely electrifying. It started off very good, and it was just at like a very good level, and then Danielson just kind of does this thing, you know, like prime LeBron James would do, which is just late third quarter going into the fourth. All right, it's time to go on a 15-0 run. I will spur this run myself, and I'm going to change the gear a little bit, and I'm going to go beast mode. And he's decided, okay, this is good. I need this to be great. And he just willed it into that level. And Ricky Starks, to his credit, matched his intensity, and they started whipping the absolute hell out of each other. And violent, just intense. Ricky Steamboat, God bless, 72 years old or whatever he is. His chops still rule.
Yeah.
He pulls Big Bill off the apron, and he's just... I'm like, oh my God. I wanted him to take a choke slam bump to a table, but realized immediately that he'd die if he did that. But I wanted to... Oh, man. Could you imagine if he did an arm drag, Monty?
It was so nice having him around, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see the Dragon stumble over when Bryan did that dive on Ricky and Big Bill?
I didn't see that.
Lost his footing a little bit.
He lost his footing and like fell by the announce table. He was slowly picking himself up, grabbing his knees and everything like that. It looked like he was in so much pain.
Oh man, God bless the Dragon. You know, he's you know, he gave it a real go on commentary. You know, he was trying to get in as involved as he could and give some expert analysis. You know,
he gave out some long. He was giving out those long explanations, and then like Nigel or somebody would cut him off, and then
you'd go back to it. Oh, God bless. You know, he kept talking over Final Countdown.
You could tell like somebody was probably telling him something because he'll stop and then just keep going. But I think he was talking when everybody chanted the final countdown and just like got quiet again.
Oh man. But yeah, he was great. He was great. We loved Ricky the Dragon, you know. But yeah, this was one of the absolute greatest strap matches of all time, you know. Especially even just the way they were using the strap. Look, they were really whipping each other in the face, you know. Like, I wouldn't envy feeling how they're feeling today, you know. What else did we have on this card? We had Eddie Kingston tag teaming with Shibata versus Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. This was a good time. Eddie lost, man. Eddie lost. He just can't get it done when Claudio's around, can he, man?
No, you can't, bro. Has Claudio ever won with the Europe? No, I guess he didn't because they were saying he didn't. But him winning with the European uppercut like that was just like a pop because for some reason I thought he was going to kick out and he never did. So I mean that's just
It's like a light kick out,
I've
wasn't it?
yeah.
He
It was
kicked
like,
out
yeah.
at 4, you know.
maybe not in AEW, but I've seen him win with the European uppercut before.
That-
If you're talking about when he would like shoot you up in the sky and then like you land on his uppercut, you know what I mean?
No, not that one. He just did a regular uppercut, and Nigel started screaming. Like, I never seen anybody win with an uppercut like that. And just I don't know. The whole match was awesome, and I really want to see a Shibata and Claudio match.
Yeah, man, good stuff. Ibo, you got anything you want to add?
Not really.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. Absolutely. You know, continuing to build with this Eddie and Claudio thing, which we've all put over very much. So, just happy to see him. You know, happy that Joe Hulbert got to see the Mad King live in Chicago. You know,
Yep.
good time. Good time. Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita. Yeah, Kenny was wearing the green and yellow, the DDT colours, you know, the colours of his DDT gear, should I say. And, yeah, man, Kenny Omega ate a pin to Takeshita again in a very, very good match. It was a really good time. Don Callis, of course, getting involved. Not too much, though, where you'd still class this as like a pretty much a clean win by Takeshita, you know, which of course is quite the surprise in itself. A lot of people thought Omega would be walking away with the win here, but no, Takeshita, the heels, Don Callis' number one prodigy. Takeshita gets it done against Kenny Omega on pay-per-view. A huge, huge win for him, and hopefully they capitalise on it, Ibu.
Yeah. I hope that the follow up to this is big time. Beating Kenny Omega is no small feat. So if he does
In a
that,
great as well, you know.
say that again. You lagged out. You said he what?
In a great pay-per-view match as well.
Yeah. So I hope that they follow up on this properly. I think Kenny, if you beat Kenny Omega, you should be on TV every week. And so just straight up, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, at least in some way, shape, or form. I hope that Takeshita is built up as the Terminator, as the super athlete, cyborg, fucking beast that he should be presented as. And I'd like to see them do some type of story arc where Kenny Omega is potentially questioning if he can still hang with a specimen like Konosuke Takeshita. I think that's the route they should take here. I'd like this win to be followed up on with big stuff for Konosuke Takeshita, and I think I would not mind diverging their paths to do whatever they plan to do, and then reconvening for a big rematch at the Inoki show or at Full Gear, where they can have an even more expansive and epic match with more story weight, and they can have the absolute best possible match of the year candidate level match between these two guys. But for this one here, it was a nice win for Takeshita, and it was really, really good. And you know, it's what you would expect from the guys of this level.
Yeah, man, really good stuff. Really good stuff. But it's all about how you capitalise on Takeshita getting such a big win. Manny, did you catch this? What did you think? Etc. Etc.
I didn't see it, but that's cool that Kesha got a big win like that. Not that many people pin Kenny, so hope they do something with it and they run with this momentum.
Yeah, he's pinned him twice now, so both on pay-per-view, both on huge shows, and like I said, it's all about how you capitalize on it. But yeah, Eva, you said if they do take a break from the feud, you can't really do it at the Wrestle Dream show because that is literally less than a month away anyway. So October 1st, I believe. Yeah, October 1st on the Sunday. Yeah, October 1st. So that's what, three? How many Dynamites we got? We've got 4 Dynamites. So 4, 5. So something like that. Either way, it's about a month.
What do you think they started booking for it?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see like what approach to go with it because, of course, Tony Khan did confirm at the media scrum yesterday, but he's going to have some help from New Japan, and they're going to send over some stars. And I guess it'll be interesting to see if it's just kind of like a special card, or if it's going to be like a proper TV canon pay-per-view, But we'll see what happens. I guess we'll find out pretty soon.
Just to let you know, Monty, you keep cutting in and out.
A little bit, just a little bit. I think you can power through it.
Yeah, that should be fine. But yeah, books FTR versus Bullet Club Gold. What's up, man?
Nothing.
He just a slight little laugh at the mention of the Young Bucks,
Oh no, because as soon as you said it, you cut off again. I just laughed.
A little bit, like slightly.
Yeah.
Right.
My whole thing on this is I really didn't want to watch this match. It came on and I was like, I just don't want to watch this. It's like a TV match. But the energy and the atmosphere in the crowd was just it was something. The Bucks are in their element in these types of situations where the crowd is very ornery and some of them are in support of them and some of them aren't. College football atmosphere. A glimpse of what CMFTR versus Elite would have looked like in a perfect world, but we don't live in a perfect world. My big takeaway of this match, Monty, is I feel very validated for thinking that the Young Bucks have been just slightly checked out and going through the motion in recent months, because this is what they look like when they're dialed in. They're very charismatic when they're like this. When they can just kind of just fully just take all the weight off, the chains off, and just be themselves, play into the audience, be kind of pricks about it, be kind of show-offs, dickheads, whatever you want to say. You get the best version of the Young Bucks, and they're dynamic, and they're creative, and they're fun, and they're spontaneous. This is a dialed-in Young Bucks, and a dialed-in Young Bucks are big match players. The Young Bucks we had been seeing have been kind of the play the hits. We're here. We have to be the Young Bucks for, this 9:30 match on TV. And it's not quite the same. And I think we saw it last night. It was very surreal to see Dax doing tag moves with the Bucks. Really freaky. It's like watching the Bloods and the Crips unite. But yeah, this was quite. It was just weird. Monty's doing like BTE triggers. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was
It
weird.
was a good time, man. It was a good time. Got creative with it, and like you said, the books were like, it's they definitely felt like they had a bit more pep in the step,
Absolutely.
And good time, really good time. And Bucks FTR tag teaming together definitely had some novelty factor to it.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Anyone anything else to add on it?
They're corny. That's it.
You're just down in the dumps today, man. Poor Matt and Nick Jackson, subject to this abuse from Manny the Hooper. All they want to do is wrestle. These good Christian kids, the Young Bucks.
My favorite subtle Mannyism is when he's kind of grumpy and he's just sitting there. He does this like subtle Manny like head bob shake thing while sitting. Like, you know what I mean, Mossy? He's just kind of like
he hates this place, all right, man. Main event time. Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy, main event for the international title. Very much a testament to Orange Cassidy's reign with the belt and all the defenses he's been having.
I'm glad somebody finally beat this fucker up, bro. I've been asking for it for a long time, and somebody like Jon Moxley came in here and fucking did it, bro. It was awesome.
He did. That's what he did, brother. That's what he did. You know, you've had to remain kind of quiet on Orange Cassidy. Manny was very famously an Orange Cassidy denier, and when he got to about 20 defenses and he was wrestling every week, Manny, he couldn't really get his shit off. He was just waiting. He was just waiting and waiting for this day right now, where Orange Cassidy finally drops the belt. And no matter how great the match is, Manny's just happy that
I
he's dropped
saw.
that title.
I mean, look, Orange was great in this match too. Like, especially at the end when he's finally showing fire, and he's all bloodied up, and Moxie just says, "Fuck you, bro." And he hits him with the last Death Rider. Fucking awesome. And when he was holding up that belt, part of me just felt like, oh shit, I think AEW's back. Like the ace is back on top. Then I remembered, oh shit, no, that's the international title. That's not the AEW World title. And I can't wait to see what Moxley does with this title, because I'm pretty sure he's gonna do some crazy shit with it. And I'm really interested to see what Orange does here as a character, because I feel like he showed so much resolve and character. And he showed, like, if you want to get corny about it, like when someone like and when people talk about boxers and fighters, they say you always know when you're a champion when you come back and all that from it. I kind of want to see what Orange does as a character coming back from losing a title like that in the way that he did. So I hope he evolves. Pretty much.
Incredible main event, wasn't it?
Special stuff. This was just really beautiful. Orange Cassidy, the guy who puts his hands in his pockets, ironically, is the most old school babyface on the roster at the moment. And just valiant fighting champion, pulling off miracles even though his body's realistically been finished since Double or Nothing. And you watch this match, and it's a testament to these guys, this ring work, that I'm really just engrossed in the action. And I'm just, as the match progresses, I really just want him to pull off one more miracle. You know that it's not probable because of the situation, his physical state, and John Moxley being literally the Terminator of AEW. But you just hope for it, because a good babyface can get you to believe and get you to hope. And I hoped, and I really wanted him to pull this off. And I thought he should have gone over from a booking standpoint, because I thought it would have sent a great message. And I don't think John Moxley necessarily needs this belt. I think maybe it would have been better served giving this one to a Jay White or a Takeshita. But nonetheless, from a match standpoint, I'm watching, and I really, really just hope he pulls it off and he prevails, right? And he's fighting and he's bleeding, and they're going around the ring and they're just clobbering each other, and you're getting these dynamic counters. And it gets really dramatic towards the end. And in those last few minutes, I thought we started to progress towards magical, which is not something that matches always reach. And, I know a lot of people like to throw 4.5s and 4 3/4 at every match with near falls and kickouts and suspense, right? But for me, the way I operate now, Monty, is I don't go 4.5 plus unless I feel something. Like, literally, I mean feel as in, like, I was watching it and, like, it got me. You know what I mean? And I was very moved by this. I thought it was just really cool to have this be the main event of the show that was supposed to be the company's statement trying to navigate out of muddy waters. And I'm really, really happy and proud, I guess. Proud? I'm kind of proud of the guys involved for what they did here. Both guys stepped up and had an amazing main event. And truly heartbreaking when Orange Cassidy lost, genuinely. And I think it's because of how good he's been. So, yeah, tough ending, but a tremendous main event to frankly a fantastic show.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've been down. It's not a shock or like a secret or anything, but I've been down on wrestling for a few months, and then this last week it was like at a all-time low, and I thought I was maybe done. But I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the end of the match, I did kind of like pump my fist and I said, "Oh fuck, that was a great match," and all that. And I thought the magic was still there.
Oh fuck, that was a great match. It's got me again. The damn wrestling. Hey, well, it was a special time, man. It was a great main event, worthy of main eventing, like I said, which is testament to the reign that Orange had. that someone like Mox could viably be challenging for it in the main event on pay-per-view. So credit to Orange, and they had a great main event. And Orange absolutely he got his flowers at the end. You know, the fans showing him a lot of love at the end, and he got applauded, and there was freshly squeezed chants, and he was just taking it in, and very much deserved his flowers at the end of the pay-per-view. Very nice stuff, and I guess it'll be interesting to see where Mox goes with this belt. But yeah, let's quickly talk about Payback. Manny, I'd be very surprised if you've seen anything whatsoever on this pay-per-view, so I'm sure it's mainly just going to be me and you just kind of batting this back and forth, you know. Becky versus Trish. This was a good time, maybe. Becky versus Trish, you know.
I had to swallow my words. I thought this was going to be awful because the program has been awful and almost irredeemably bad throughout the entire way through. And then this last week, Becky has a really good, really fun Falls Count Anywhere match. And then this was just so much better than it had any reason to be. Becky really earned her money here. The key phrasing of the weekend, Monty, was professional pride. I think certain people just have a certain amount of professional pride to where they just can't go out looking crazy and having a bad match. And Becky Lynch had a very good match with Trish Stratus in a steel cage, which is remarkable because of the feud and Trish Stratus's current state, and the fact that it's a WWE steel cage match, and those on the main roster aren't good at all these days. So this is awesome, to be honest with you. I was absolutely stunned at how fun this was.
Yeah, it was a really good time, man. Of course, Becky got the win. And Zoe Stark turns on Trish Stratus after the match, so I guess we'll see what that means for everyone involved. LA Knight versus The Miz. LA Knight gets it done as expected. He has comes face to face. We've seen her a couple of times here, Bill. And I think this is big money that we're looking at potentially here.
Yeah, no pun intended. He didn't look inferior to John staring him down. He didn't allow John's just aura and clout to supersede and overwhelm and engulf him the way that like an Austin Theory did when he looked like a total jag in front of LA Knight. I mean, in front of Cena. So could be good business. I think the promo segments that they'll have on TV will be really, really fun and will probably go viral and shit like that. So yeah, I mean, good on LA Knight to get himself in this position to where he went from not being on the WrestleMania card and being a guy who felt shafted and not winning Money in the Bank to he wins the Battle Royal at SummerSlam. He beats Miz, which is the first heel you got to beat in the WWE babyface push ladder. And now he's in a program with John Cena, so good for him. He made it.
Rey Mysterio versus Theory.
Austin Theory is terrible.
You got very spiteful about this.
He's not good. He's not a pay-per-view performer. He's just not. Like, there's way too many wrestlers here that could be eating up this pay-per-view time with better wrestling that I could be watching than Austin Theory. Theory is like TV passable, and that's very different than being a pay-per-view performer. TV passable is, all right, I can have a heat segment, and then you can do a comeback on me, and then I do my shit in 7 minutes on a SmackDown. Whatever, right? Pay-per-view, 16 minutes. I don't think he has a bell to bell, and I think it's because he just, for all the tools he has physically, I just don't think he's a pro wrestler. Like I don't think Austin Theory is a wrestler.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Judgment Day in a Steel City street fight. If you want to talk about who's a real professional wrestler, Kevin fucking Owens is a real professional wrestler. He's as real as it gets. He's one of the best in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He gets busted open in this. And it was quite shameless how violently I was pumping my fist when he emerged and blood was just pouring down his face on a WWE pay-per-view in 2023. But of course, outside of that, and me being childish and popping that much for blood spots on professional wrestling shows, this was actually a chaotic, intense street fight, you know? It was chaos is absolutely the word that I'm trying to capture when I see that there's going to be a street fight or no holds barred or anything along those lines. You know, I want to capture the energy of like what the fuck is happening right now. There's bodies everywhere, shit's broken all around the ring. You know, and just chaos. And this achieved that. And this was definitely one of the better WWE matches of the year. I thought for all the drama and the chaos and like I said, Kevin getting fucking busted open and just a good time, Ibo. I love this one.
This was fucking great. This match was the best WWE pay-per-view match in my view since Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. In that it was exciting, energetic, dynamic, uniquely beast and memorable. Professional pride again, folks. I know a lot of people are tired of Steen Jericho fighting the Judgment Day, but I comfortably said, Monty, on all the shows leading up to this, that this will easily be the match of the night, and it was. I put it up there tied with anything this weekend, quite frankly. And I think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are the tag team of the year, and I won't hear any arguments otherwise, unless you have someone from Japan that I haven't been paying attention to. And even then, it's like, who would it even be? Aussie Open fizzled out, and now they're, I think they're out of contention given how their summer has gone. And then you have like some of these other teams, like Strong BJ from Big Japan Pro Wrestling, don't have enough great matches, and they broke up because Okabayashi's retired. I don't know who your choice would be. But anyway, Kevin Owens, Monty, people act like he's like past his prime or this and that. He is still incredible. He is still literally one of the best wrestlers in the world. And Sami Zayn, he's almost having a second wind of life recently. Like, he's found a way how to work around his physical limitations as a veteran babyface. And he almost has this like Terry Funkness to him now. I don't know if I'm just saying that because he has a beard and taped fists and long hair. But this team rules. This was so chaotic. And the set pieces and the random spots that they came up with were just insane. Kevin Owens did a balcony swanton and almost missed the table and broke his ass. Rhea Ripley spears, I think it was KO through the barricade, which is the best barricade breaking spear I've seen in a while, partially because a woman did it. It was just really cool. It was so fitting to just make Rhea look like a beast. And yeah, I just love this. I thought this was awesome. JD McDonough almost died on a power bomb. Yeah, this is great. This is the best match on the show by a comfortable margin.
Yeah, man, really good time. Definitely one of the better WWE matches of the year, I'd say. It's pretty fair to say. We had Rhea Ripley versus Raquel for the women's world title. And this was fine, this was pretty fine. It wasn't offensive in any way. It wasn't even bad in any way, really, either. It was okay. And considering they had two pretty good to very good matches in NXT, I'd say this is comfortably the least good out of those three. So I'm sure they're going to wrestle many more times over the next few years. So yeah, man, wasn't anything amazing. Ibu, you got anything you want to add whatsoever?
Yeah, this could have been a breakout thing for Raquel, and it was not. I think it actually exposed a lot of her weaknesses, and that she's still a ways away from being truly great. She has the physical tools to be something, but she doesn't have the charisma or the ability to fill in the gaps. And I thought this was an all right wrestling match, and I think it should have been agented differently. This needed to be a Haas fight with power moves. Ironic now since I just watched Miro versus Hobbs. But yeah, I don't want to see Raquel and Rhea doing chin locks and transitioning out of holds. They should literally just be slamming each other for 8 minutes. And that's not what I got out of this. And so that's why this was actually under-delivered based on my expectations. So,
yeah, Seth Rollins World Heavyweight Championship match versus Shinsuke Nakamura. He successfully retains. We had the Great Muta spectating from the front row, which of course was a pop. It's always a pop CK Muta, But yeah, this is a nice little main event. Nothing blow away. I think it's fair to say, but at the same time, it wasn't tough to watch or anything like that in any sense. Seth Rollins is always going to go out there and do his best to not, under deliver in the spot that he's given, and he didn't do that here in the main event. So yeah, pretty decent effort from Seth and Shinsuke Uber.
About what I expected. Rollins is good. Shinsuke is okay. And they had a capital G good wrestling match in the main event of a pay-per-view. They willed this into being something, and ultimately it did result in a good match. But for me personally, at 26 minutes in the main event of a 2023 pay-per-view, I do want something more than good. And this didn't reach it for various reasons. I don't think the fans truly believed Shinsuke was going to beat him. even though they did an admirable job in the build. And I don't know. I don't think their styles mix that well. Seth's not really that type of a kicky, strikey wrestler, and Nakamura doesn't do the other stuff great. But ultimately, they did lay out a match that ended up good. So good for Shinsuke. He main evented his first WWE pay-per-view in a singles match. Seth Rollins retains. And they had this close because they wanted this to be, they're trying to establish this new championship. So there you have it. I don't particularly want to see a rematch that badly, but we'll see what happens. They had a stare down with Rollins and Ricochet last week on Raw, and I would not be opposed to them being on pay-per-view next month, even though that's not a main event, but I would like to see that match happen.
WWE Payback. It was a pretty good show. Pretty good show. Some matches over delivered, a couple under delivered, but it's that's you get what you get.
I do want to say real quick. I saw the closing stretch for Seth and Shinsuke because it was all over Twitter. Him doing the Tana cosplay thing was not as bad as everybody said it was. It was probably better than what Tana does. So,
Manny, that's because
it's because the Rainmaker was so pathetic.
No, I didn't see that. I just saw him do the spinning gimmick thing, and then him go for the 5-5 flow.
Manny, it's partially just because we exist in the era of dunk culture, and so it's like you gotta shit on the guys that are cool to shit on. And it is funny on some level that Seth Rollins is doing Tanahashi moves. That's pretty funny, but yeah, it wasn't like shambolic. But you get what you get, I guess.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I thought the pay-per-view was a pretty good time. Nothing to set the world on fire. And
Jey Uso's back.
Yeah, Jey Uso came back. The Grayson Waller effect, of course, of Cody Rhodes, and he introduces Jey Uso back, and we've got Jey Uso back. So
yeah,
we've already talked about it, of course.
Yeah.
The whole Cody thing. But yeah, just a few notes on CM Punk, and of course, he's been fired over the weekend. He was fired on Saturday night, and there's been all kinds of notes that have came out since. Of course, the meeting, the alleged meeting that was supposed to be happening between the two, and apparently, according to what side you talk to, depends on what sort of story you get regarding this meeting. Apparently, the Elite turned it down immediately. Apparently, Punk thought he was on his way to said meeting, so it was just kind of one of those things where bit of miscommunication, it seems. And the meeting that many fans were hoping for before CM Punk was fired was maybe not that close to actually happening. It don't seem like it was that close to happening, to be honest. But yeah, Ibu, meeting, no meeting, doesn't matter now, does it? It doesn't matter now.
Doesn't, but it definitely is sad to hear that we were this close in different circumstances from the complete opposite outcome. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, Observer Radio the day after Punk got fired was a very interesting listen. From Dave and Brian saying that they went too easy on him, going to many people in AEW believe that Punk was trying to get out of his contract, that Tony Khan lunging at Tony Khan was a very light way of putting it, etc., etc. They just went off on him in a sense, But yeah, Ibo, CM Punk, apparently many in AEW believe that he was trying to get out of his contract this whole time.
He wouldn't be the only one, and yeah. Tony would never voluntarily just give him a release if he asked for one. And so if it is true that Punk on some level was like, I'm just going to do something crazy, fuck it, I don't want to be here. Maybe. I mean, we saw Andrade tweet his solidarity for CM Punk yesterday and basically say, I want to wrestle you again. And I can add to you guys that AEW talents have been told not to speak on CM Punk going forward.
Pussies.
And Andrade were just like, fuck that, I'll do what I want.
Yeah, right away. Yeah.
CM Punk gave you all the blueprint to get out of AEW. There you go.
I mean, Andrade's tried he tried punching somebody in the face and it didn't work, you know.
Well, he has to do it 2 times. If you saw,
That's the truth. That's the truth. You got to do it twice, you know. Yeah, that episode of Collision on Saturday was wild, bro. Tony Khan coming out and doing the pre-show speech. The line that everyone's talking about, Tony Khan saying that he feared for his life. I wish I could have seen your reaction, man. When you first...
What?
He feared for his life, man. Where's your compassion?
It's like, come on with that dumb shit, bro. I was like, fuck, man. You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, God bless, man. That pre-show speech was just...
It's like he's never seen a fight or something, bro. You never been in he had to be in the NFL or something like that, like, or in a fucking soccer arena. There's been fights, bro. Come on, it seems like somebody that's like sheltered or something, bro. I don't know. Fuck. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get spiteful on here.
I mean, it's a bit late. It's a bit late for that, you know.
I have nothing left to say about this. You know, it's just it is what it is, man.
Boo. It's a stranger. You've had the shit kicked out of you in all your group chats. You know, you've had to talk about it a lot, etc. But you know, this is the nature of the games we play, but you know, the world keeps turning, and as the world keeps turning, there's more CM Punk news that you know, which we happen to talk about on these podcasts. You know,
I told months before, like how I found out was my Twitter kept getting blown up, and then the Discord I was on kept getting blown up, and then I saw everybody was in the voice chat when I logged on to see what's happening, and they told me while I was driving, and then they told me that I was like, "They was like, man, you all right?" And I just pulled into a gas station. I just parked and I just sat there, just like it's like my world stood still for a minute, and I said, "Oh, I don't know what you guys want from me now." Just even now, it's so crazy that it happened.
Did you see the news about the William Regal incident, man?
Yeah, I kind of knew about that a while back, but yeah, it's so funny that came out. Just that whole interaction is just
considering how long ago it happened as well. So just in case anyone who's listening doesn't know what I'm talking about, Body Slam reported that an incident took place between CM Punk and William Regal when Regal made his AEW debut. Punk refused to shake Regal's hand and would then get in his face telling him he did not like him and he did not trust him and that Regal was a stooge for Triple H.
That's where I got the bit from a while back when I started calling him a lizard pervert. That's when I found out about it. That's when I started calling Regal a lizard pervert.
Where does the
because he's a lizard guy.
Yeah, but why does it now make him a lizard pervert? Because like,
I don't know, just bro, like, imagine somebody coming up to you like your first day there and be like, "You're a fucking stooge, bro. I know it. I don't trust you at all." Like, how do you ever respond to that? Be like, "All right, bro. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, bro, right?" I mean,
man, I love Regal. But you know, him and Triple H are said to be very, very good friends, and you know,
he wasn't wrong or anything. It's just kind of funny to come up to somebody.
Oh man. But yeah, happened a long time ago. Dave Meltzer followed up earlier on Wrestling Observer Radio saying that, you know, Regal kept it to himself for a few months, but when he relayed it to people, it was described as not a big deal. So it kind of been that big of a deal, you know. But yeah, man, Punk, of course, again, not afraid to speak his mind to people's faces, you know. For better and for worse, you know. People always like to say that if you've got a problem with someone, they'll say it to someone's face. And the reality of it is that a lot of people don't do that. And there's many reasons for that, you know. Sometimes it's probably not the right thing to do. But CM Punk is definitely someone that practices that, you know. If he's got a problem with someone, he's not afraid to say it to their faces. And look where that's got him, Ibu. He's not around no more. You know, he's not in AEW no more anyway. I guess we'll have to wait and see if he does end up in WWE. of course, we touched on the reports that there's talk of him maybe being open to going to WWE, or at least there was at the end of last year. Of course, now it seems that he is kind of free. Tony Khan refused to talk on the possibility of him having a no-compete clause yesterday at the media scrum. I think you would assume that there would be at least some sort of period where we can't compete. But who knows?
Part of me thinks it's kind of weird how these wrestlers have they can't say anything after they leave the company, but at the same time, I guess it's pretty smart. You don't want anybody shitting on your company when they're gone. So, but at the same time, we're wrestling podcasters, and I want the content.
I mean, yeah, it's good to have things to talk about. It's it's good to have things to talk about. But when it's all about the same thing, it's as Ibu said, he's burnt out on all this, and I've got a show with him tomorrow, and I'm sure CM Punk, I'm sure his name is gonna pop up in the news, and we're gonna have to at least touch on something with him there. And Kenny Omega drank some Pepsi on BTE, and it caused a bunch of discourse earlier today. These are the games we play, people. These are the games we play.
What did he tweet after he sent that?
What do you mean?
He tweeted something because he says, I had to look through all this stuff because I muted AEW.
What would you do? Why do you get so petty when you get mad at a wrestling company, man? You can't just be like, oh, well, I'm not into AEW at the moment. You have to mute them. You have to slander them at every chance. You have to, you can't just chill out,
Man, I'm a fucking spiteful guy, man. I don't know what you want from me, right? I have I have a high tolerance, but when that tolerance gets pushed over the edge, man, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Muting AEW is hilarious.
I was wondering why, I was wondering earlier today, there's no wrestling content whatsoever on my timeline. It's kind of weird. And then I was like, oh, yeah, because I muted everything.
Well, yeah, because that's kind of what you do, like I said. Yeah. Everyone in the chat's telling us it wasn't Pepsi.
Yeah, that's what
Kenny Omega said it was something like it was water with
electrolytes or something.
Something like that. But you see the blue label, you see the the cola-colored liquid in the bottle. You know what people are gonna think. So yeah, man. Discourse, CM Punk stuff. There's gonna be fallout. There's gonna be a lot more, of course. News-wise, if it's newsworthy, of course, we'll talk about it tomorrow on our little afternoon show with South and Libu.
I'm so ready to turn that show into a 30-minute discussion on Chad Gable and Gunther having the greatest Intercontinental Championship match of all time.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if people want to tune into that. If people want to tune into it.
Do you want me to relay right now before we get off how long the match is scheduled for, Monty?
I don't think you want to run people off. I
mean, we're ending now anyway.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we're getting out of here, man. We're getting out of here.
It's scheduled to be a 3-segment match at the end of the show, so about closing it on half an hour, roughly. So
good stuff. Chad Gable versus Gunther. I'm expecting it to be like their best TV match of the year, to be honest. That should be kind of like the goal for it. Especially if it's going to get all that kind of time,
How do you talk to somebody about saying, can they upload it without commercials? We get the full 30 minutes instead of 5 minutes of action or whatever, then a commercial break, and then get a different sequence of the match, I want to get the full 25 to 30 minutes, no grab breaks, no black screen, just...
I don't mind commercials in wrestling matches, except when I'm watching it live and have to sit through the commercial. If that makes any sense. When I watch TV after the fact, I just I don't see the commercial, so I don't care. It's whatever. But when it's live, it sucks.
Oh well, yeah, boo. That's kind of it's kind of how it goes usually. Great input. WWE Raw is starting, so we're gonna get out of here. Manny's been very depressed, and we hope this isn't his last town for WrestlePurists Worldwide. Like I said, we're keeping our fingers crossed for his work schedule to line up with us. But either way, it's not like Manny the Hooper is going to be disappearing from the channel anyway. We'll find a slot for him. We'll find some towns for him. Me and Ibi will be back tomorrow with our kind of WrestlePurists Live. You know, it's our thing where we talk about the latest news and stuff, and we actually, we try and keep you updated with the latest news and what the actual reports have been so far over the past couple of days. We do that every Tuesday and Wednesday. It's myself and Joe Hulbert on Fridays. But yeah, tomorrow, me and Ibu, there will be no Dungo Live tomorrow. I believe that will be starting again this Sunday. We'll wait and see on that. And yeah, myself, Manny the Hooper, Backup Hangman. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.